Hi, I'm Phyllis Lang and welcome to Nightwear. This video is part 2 of a demonstration of the logging features in Deep Sky Planner 4. Again, this video is being created under Windows Vista Home Premium 32-bit. The next step is one that you might like to take before any observing session, and that is to create or select an existing observing project to hold the observations from the night's work. To work with observing projects, you open the Observing Project Manager. The Observing Project Manager allows you to manage your observations by project. In fact, you can map an observation to more than one project if you wish. Projects are an organizational tool used in Deep Sky Planner. The observation project comes into play when you're reporting, importing, and exporting. You can export an entire project. You can select observations for a report by project. So, the Observing Project tool is used really throughout the program. For tonight's demonstration observation, we'll use the Messier project, which I've already created. It has no observations currently attached, but since we're going to add observations to this project, I'm going to make it the active project. This allows observations to be added automatically as we work through our observing plan. You'll notice on the main screen of Deep Sky Planner that the active observing project appears in the lower left corner of the status bar. This helps to remind you which observing project is currently active. Let's make a Deep Sky report of the Messier objects to serve for our demonstration. We'll search the catalog and select M1 as though we have observed it. To select M1 and add an observation for it, right-click and choose Add Observation. This opens the familiar Observation Editor window with M1 already selected as the target. Usually when you open the Observation Editor, it is pre-populated with information added during the previous Observing Editor edition. Since we haven't added any data yet, it's blank. Let's choose the session that we've just set up for this demonstration as our observing session. You can elect to put in an observer name. Device assisted means whether you're using a go-to mount or digital setting circles. The object number, of course, is pre-populated. The rating is a personal scale you might use in sorting reports for your very favorite or maybe the least favorite observations that you've made. The instrument used for the observation can be chosen from this drop-down list, or if you're working through your observations and adding equipment as you work, the second workflow that I described at the beginning of the video, you would click this button to begin to add equipment as you work through. We'll go ahead with the 8-inch Dobsonian for our instrument. We'll choose an existing eyepiece. We'll select no Barlow, no filter, and no camera. According to which equipment items you select for the observation, helpful information is calculated and displayed in this area. Observations made using a camera will display a different set of information here useful to astrophotographers. If your observation includes a sketch or an image, the address, or rather the folder where this information is stored on your machine, can be entered here, and the usual Windows Open dialog box can be accessed here. For this observation, we're not going to use a camera, so there's no image thumbnail that I want to attach. If you want to attach images that you haven't taken but that are simply helpful for you, you can also attach those here. And a thumbnail will be shown in this area, indicating which image is stored with the observation. Finally, the Notes area allows you to enter free-form text describing your observation. For this example, I'll put something rather meaningless, but indeed something. Finally, the checkbox at the bottom of the screen helps you to remember that you are working on observing Project Messier. If it is checked, the observation will be attached automatically to this observing project. If you prefer, you can uncheck this box, and the observation is simply added to the database but not attached to a project. You can use the Observing Project Manager later to drag and drop observations to projects, whatever suits your need. Once the observation is completed, we click OK to add it to the database. After you've added observations to your log, there are several tools available to allow you to report them or review them. One tool is the Reporting tool, and you have two choices for a report format. The brief format is a tabular report. The detailed view is a more page-oriented format. I'll use that for this demonstration. If you remember, there was a project present in the database called Photo. So I will select all observations in the Photo project for report. There's only one, and here is a quick view of that report. The essential information is listed here about this photograph, and a thumbnail of it is shown below. Due to the limitations in the size of this video, I can't show you an expanded view, but this report can be stretched to a full page format. All of these report formats can be printed, they can be exported to an HTML format file for posting to the web, and they can be printed to a text format if you wish. The other possibility for reviewing your observations would be the observation browser. That's found on the Observing Log menu, and this is a good tool to use when you just want to quickly browse through observations. You select an observation in the left-hand pane, and you can view the information in the observation in the right-hand pane. If you need to change something in that observation, you can click Edit. Here again, you can see all the recorded data for that particular observation, and you can see a thumbnail view of the photo that is the target of this observation. Again, you can record any type of image with an observation, be it a sketch, an image taken by yourself and processed, or an image taken from the web that helps you identify your object. The last feature I'd like to demonstrate is your ability to export and import your observations. This serves as a useful backup tool, and it also helps you to synchronize observing logs between machines if you need to do so. To export observations, you open the Observing Project Manager. You can export an entire project, so in this case, I'll select the Messier project. To access the Export tool, click the Toolbar button and choose a file to receive the export. Click Save, and this status screen shows that one object was indeed exported successfully. So now we have a safe backup of the Messier observing project. That's all for part 2 of this video demonstration describing the logging capability in Deep Sky Planner 4. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it helps you to get more from Deep Sky Planner 4. Thanks for watching.